any modern adaptations of things feel the need to over-explain. They feel—
I absolutely agree with my esteemed colleague and arch nemesis, Amanda. Do go back and watch her entire video, but I'm gonna go and say that I think that it's like this because a lot of y'all asked for it. And I think maybe this might be like one of the forms of brain rot that came about because of quarantine. And I understand, like, it was a really stressful time, and so there was this need for like simplifying our lives and like finding comfort wherever we can, prioritizing our mental health and like not exposing ourselves to anything else that could make us uncomfortable. The thing is, now we got a bunch of motherfuckers with no media literacy and this ridiculous need for instant gratification. A lot of y'all are just unable to consume anything that makes you uncomfortable, even if it has a point in the storytelling. Listen, as millennials, like, we consumed a lot of problematic shit when we were younger. So like, there's definitely a lot of changes that need to be made about how movies and shows are made. But again, since we got a bunch of motherfuckers that just can't understand nuance, now the shit you're watching is dumbed down. I'm gonna say that there's nuance to what I'm talking about, right? As it is with everything, because a bunch of y'all whataboutists will come out of the woodwork. I know. Yeah, there's still things that we need to continue to correct, like how we depict minors on screen and the utilization of trauma porn, making sure that certain narratives aren't overtly harmful to certain groups. You know, obvious things like that. But I remember seeing the signs of the times over the past few years when I had to explain to grown-ass people that just because you see an F-22, just because you see a tank in a movie, that does not automatically make it military propaganda. A lot of them would fight me tooth and nail about it too, and I'd be like, look, I'm a political scientist and a veteran. Propaganda has a specific political objective. Can you tell me what the political objective of this thing that you say is propaganda is? They could never answer that question. Because surprise, surprise, evidently, that wasn't the point of the movie or show. Because you feel uncomfortable seeing the military on there, because you maybe don't like the military. Listen, I am not the military's #1 fan at all. Just decided to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Or in a movie or show, a character will say something racist, and then some of y'all will be like, oh my God, this show is shit, don't watch. It's like, no, the character's meant to be racist because the character's a bad person. We're showing that they're a bad fucking person. That's the role they play in this narrative. Again, this need for instant gratification and not being able to see things play out. I just got back from a screening for Dune Part 2 with YouTube Shorts. It slapped, by the way. Now, this is Part 2. There will be a Part 3. So Dune Part 2 ends as an incomplete story of the Dune saga. He overheard a girl coming out of the theater saying, I didn't like it because it ends on a cliffhanger. I didn't like Across the Spider-Verse either for that reason. It was incomplete. It's part of a saga. Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest came out and Barbossa came back to life. We didn't bitch about it and be like, this is a terrible movie because it's incomplete, we don't know what happens next. We just waited for Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. Hear me when I say that Sokka does not have the same character arc development that he had in the original series, because some of y'all's lack of media literacy demanded that it be that way. Y'all don't have the ability to recognize, oh, misogyny is part of this character's development. He's a little shit now, so he can develop into a better person later. I'll just be like, oh, misogyny, we know, like misogyny, misogyny bad, everything bad, whole thing bad. And you don't have the patience to watch a maybe shitty character develop into a better character. So congratulations. Because that's what y'all's capabilities to consume media have demanded, now you got shit that's dumbed down for you. You're welcome. It goes along with a lot of scripts of a lot of movies I've seen lately, just explaining things verbally that don't need to be explained. It's like, yeah, we could have inferred that from the camera angles, from the footage, like, yeah. Again, you need everything spoon-fed to you. You don't want homemade mac and cheese, you want Stouffer's. You need friction to tell a good story. Characters can be flawed and appreciated at the same time. I do a lot of skits about Tony Stark and Doctor Strange and Roronoa Zoro, and people will be like, oh, you must really hate these characters because you make fun of them all the time. I'm like, no, these are my favorite characters. Their flaws are actually what make me appreciate them more. You can point out the dumb shit that they do and still appreciate other parts of them. We need to keep on critiquing media. There's a lot of problematic shit that still needs to be addressed and fixed. But if y'all would remember any fucking shit from English class, conflict is needed for a story. And sometimes that involves things that are a little uncomfortable. Instead of taking it at surface value, you might need to do some analysis. Listen, if something triggers you, you don't need to watch it. There's a lot of things that I don't watch because it triggers me. But just because I do not enjoy consuming something surface level about a movie or show that makes me uncomfortable, that does not throw out the legitimacy of that entire story. But I'm sorry, in my opinion, as long as y'all continue to react to things with this need to over-sanitize everything, you're gonna continue to get these watered down character arcs and dumbed down scripts. Because you have demanded that everything come to you already resolved and right now.